What's up, collectors? And also so much to see us today. When I'm finally taking a look at Transformers WFC Cybertron Netflix, Sparkless, but taking a really good look at the packaging, we get an Transformers logo on the side, WFC Cybertron on the bottom, Sparkless butt on the side, and a big display of the figure itself. On the side of the packaging, we get an image of him, as well as the Decepticon logo and the Netflix on the top. On the back of the packaging, we get the typical roll mode and vehicle mode, as well as the 15 steps in the Transformer. And on the other side, we got the typical, Kingdom Box image with the whole majority of characters. And on the top of the packaging, we got Transformer more than meets the eye and the Autobot logo, but that's pretty much it for the whole thing. So without further ado, let's get into it. And here we have Transformers WFC Cybertron Netflix, Sparkless butt in hand, and all the packaging, as you can see, not bad at all. I love the color distribution. The rust looks legit, and honestly, it looks really accurate to his particular representation. Starting on with the weapons that he brings, as you can see, he brings his shoulder cannons, and I understand perfectly why they decided to add, weapons to him, because he is essentially a figure, but he's also a zombie, and they do not know how to shoot weapons on his particular scene. They do not use any weapons or shoot any guns whatsoever. So this is not accurate at all to his particular representation, and I'm not gonna be, displaying them or using, the weapons with him, because he is, again, a zombie. But they do make a really nice addition to your weapon collection. As you can see, for the sculpted in detail, they're not that bad, and they're made of this dark gray plastic, and they look legit. They look like actual, Cybertronian weapon. But that's pretty much it for the weapon. Again, I'm not gonna be displaying them with him, so or you can go ahead and just, for example, you can peg this one like this, and the other one in reverse or something like that, because that's essentially the whole point. They look creepy, they look like they were missing some parts and pieces, so I don't know, man, take that as you must. But as you can see, that's pretty much it for the weapons. For the figure itself, I love the paint distribution. Look and see, it looks amazing. It looks like actual metal that is rusted, and that's kind of the point of it. He is essentially a Cybertronian zombie, so he needs to look, kind of menacing and kind of creepy and really sketchy, because that's kind of the point of it. The only con that I have is that this section, it does not have, any rusted pieces whatsoever. You're not gonna tell me that this section looks really beaten, really broken and stuff with some rust all over the place, and this section is just sparkly clean. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever, as well as this section right here. But other than that, you can see that pretty much the paint is on the front. You can see that on the back, there's not much to tell. That's pretty much hollowness all over the place. The main deal is on the front, and for the mold itself, there's not much to tell. You guys know, what this guy brings to the table by now. There's been a couple of repaints already, so just on the paint distribution, you can see that it looks decent. I kind of love it. It looks creepy. It looks really unique. This is the first time that I own kind of Cybertronian vehicle mode that it looks really creepy, and it's just rusted all over the place. So I love the paint job. You can see that for the sculpted in detail, he looks really menacing. On the horns, or whatever you want to call this section, is kind of broken, kind of beaten, so that's really nice. He looks really menacing, really mad, and he looks like he's about to destroy you. So that's just kind of the point of it. But other than that, that's pretty much it for the only differences that this guy has. Essentially, he's just another copy and paste of the previous 100 molds that we had of this figure. But let's go ahead and move on to the comparison, so you guys can see how he looks, how he scales with the rest of the Autobots and Decepticons that I have I'm at disposal at this moment. Let's go ahead and start with the army drone, and as you can see, the scale really nice with each other, and they look fantastic, really accurate to the particular representations. As you can see, not bad at all. They never saw each other on the WFC Cybertron series. This was on the Siege, and this was on the Earthrise, but as you can see, they look really nice next to one another, and they look really accurate to the particular representations. But that's pretty much it for them. Let's go ahead and move on to some other comparisons. Let's go ahead and get Wheeljack and Sideswipe, so you guys can see how they look together, and not bad at all for scale. They look fantastic, and they look really accurate to the particular representations as well. And you can recreate some scenes, with the zombie trying to destroy them or whatever, and it looks fantastic. But as you can see, both of them, or all of them, are from the Siege, and they look really look on display together. But let's go ahead and move on to some other comparisons. Let's go ahead and bring Optimus Prime, so you guys see how he scales with him, and as you can see, not bad at all. He is a small foal, so he's a deluxe, so this is accurate. You can see that Optimus is the bigger one here, and they never saw each other again, because this is the Earthrise Optimus and this is the Siege zombie, so not good of a comparison. I don't own the Siege Optimus, that's why I'm bringing the Earthrise. But as you can see, they look fantastic. They still look good together, and they look really accurate to the particular representation representations. Let's go ahead and move on to some other comparisons. I don't have the girl that he completely annihilated on the Siege series, but I have Lifeline here, so this will have to do for now. But as you can see, they look fantastic together. And again, you can recreate some awesome displays with, you know, the Cybertronian zombie kind of, you know, eating some Cybertronian beans, or, you know, in this case, Lifeline. They look fantastic, really accurate to the particular representations. Lifeline has still not to appear on the War for Cybertron series, or I don't remember if he did, but as you can see, that's pretty much it for that. Here we have Prowl, so you guys can see, you know, how they look, and in my opinion, you know, he looks a lot better than this mode. I prefer, you know, the Earthrise a lot more than the Siege ones. It's just, in my opinion, it looks sleeker, it looks better overall. But as you can see, they scale really well with each other. And again, they never saw one another, in particular, you know, Proud on this version of the Earthrise. You know, it was pretty much Siege Proud with Siege Zombie, or, you know, Sparkless Bot, whatever you want to call this guy. But they scale really well with each other, and it looks fantastic. And you can, again, recreate some awesome scenes. That's pretty much the only reason why I picked this guy up, is because you can recreate some awesome, and I do mean some awesome B-rolls and some scenes, displays, whatever you want to call them, with this figure. And last but not least, here we have Hunting. So you guys can see, you know, how they look together and how he looks next to a Seeker. I'm currently hunting the Sparkless Seeker. Whenever I found him, I'm for sure gonna make a video on it, so you guys can see, you know, how they look together. They're pretty much gonna look fantastic, really accurate to the particular representations. But for now, this is all I have, and as you can see, they look fantastic. The scale is up to charge, and again, really accurate to this particular representation. But that's pretty much it for that. For the transformation, I'm not gonna be transforming this dude, because just like, you know, the army drone, pretty much everybody knows how to transform this dude by now. So I'm not gonna bother. I'm just gonna go ahead and jump into the vehicle mode and break it down. So let's go ahead and jump into it. For the vehicle mode, you can see the color distribution translating really well into the vehicle mode itself. You can see that rustiness all over the place. Either than the bag, you know, pretty much the whole vehicle is full of rustiness, and I love that. I love the look of it. We never saw them on vehicle mode, so I don't believe this is accurate, but I'm gonna take it honestly. I love the rims. You can see that this one is bigger than this one. I love that. It looks really exotic, really aggressive, and it's just, I love the look. This is kind of weird though, because this is a Cybertronian vehicle and this is from Earth, so that was always weird to me on the series. But as you can see, just giving you a 300 series so you can appreciate more of the sculpted in detail and just the looks that this guy has. So you can see, not bad at all, honestly. I love the front of the vehicle mode. It's really weird, you know, Cybertronian. I love the aesthetic, the uniqueness that it has. As you can see, you know, this is where the headlights are supposed to be, and you can see, you know, the front skirt and everything. I just like the vehicle mode in general. But moving on into the comparisons, you guys can see how he looks with the rest of the Autobots and Decepticons that I have of the moment. Here we have Cybertronian Sideswipe. As you can see, really aggro vehicles. They look aggressive, and they look really exotic. I love that. As you can see, they go really well, and they look amazing with each other. But let's go ahead and move on to kind of, you know, Black Ironhide, or, you know, the Army Drone, whatever you want to call him. They never saw each other, so this is not accurate at all. Pretty much none of them saw each other. You know, the zombie or the speaker bots never transform into vehicle modes. But as you can see, they go really nicely. They're both deluxes. This is the bigger one, but as you can see, they look really nice with each other. They scale really well. But let's go ahead and move on to some Earth-based modes. As you can see, here we have Bumblebee, so you guys can see how he looks, and the scale is awesome. Honestly, this is the scale that it normally should have. You know, if this was a Earth vehicle, but as you can see, that's pretty much it for that. Let's go ahead and move to Wheeljack. I never understood Wheeljack. This is like a 50-50, you know, a Cybertronian and Earth vehicle, just like Mirage. But as you can see, this is how they look together. They look amazing, really nice on the scale. This is the scale that they're supposed to have, you know, if this was a Earth vehicle. But let's go ahead and move on to Decepticon. Here we have the Seeker. So you guys can see, you know, how they look together, and as you can see, they look amazing, really accurate, you know, to their particular representations on the Siege mode. Again, this is not accurate at all. He never transformed into the vehicle mode, so in terms of scale, I don't know if this is accurate, but just focusing on the sizes, the Seeker should be a lot more bigger than the Sparkless bot. But as you can see, that's how they look together, and I cannot wait to have the Sparkless Seeker to compare it to. Let's go ahead and move to our last comparison. Here we have Inferno, so you guys can see, you know, how he looks with a Voyager Autobot, and as you can see, not that bad at all for scale. You know, this is the Deluxe, supposed to be the smaller foe, and this is kind of like a smaller Voyager, and you can see that it's way bigger than this guy. But that's pretty much it for that. And for the figure itself, again, there's not much to talk about. This is pretty much a repaint. Everybody knows what this guy brings to the table, and pretty much I have nothing else to say. So let's just go ahead and finish the video here. But again, it's just like the army drone. I would like to, you know, ask you guys if you bought it, are you planning on buying it, or you just, this is the pass for you. I'm really interested in knowing your opinion on this figure, so leave that on the comments down below. And with all that being said, this is pretty much it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If it did, please leave a like. It really helps you to argument on how my videos get out there in a while. So if you get anything, any value in my content, please subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. But this is pretty much it for Transformers WFC Netflix, Sparkless, but